What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fancy Mix Productions. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Peyton.
And today we're going to be talking about cheerleading, interviewing Dr. Josh Beardsley, and discussing what happens when you lose your money.
So for our first question today is, we're talking about cheerleading.
Yep.
Or is it a sport?
Is cheerleading a sport? That is a wonderful question. And I'll answer your question with a question. Why, if cheerleading is so important, on the sideline, why wouldn't they have cheerleaders at every sport?
That is a good question.
So what about, then there's the sport of cheerleading where you have to compete at a competition in like the best cheer, and there's lots of flips, and you have to be athletic to be a cheerleader in that setting.
It's definitely more sport than I have ever done.
Agreed. So if we're going to talk about athleticism, what about baseball?
Not a sport.
It's almost not a sport. You can be great at it and be out of shape. If we were to define the two, cheerleading would be the one with you would need to be a better athlete.
I agree.
Well, we have settled that debate right here today. Let's have a question. We've gotten so famous lately that we've had people writing us letters, not texting or emails, but legitimately sending it through the mail. Through the mail. And somebody catch that? Our question is from Chance.
Chance.
From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I have been having trouble with my garden. How do you get rid of the runs?
Whoa!
Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol.
Bismol. How do you pronounce it?
Pepto-Bismol. Do you pronounce it Pepto-Bismol?
Bismo.
Bismo?
Pepto-Bismol.
Okay.
We are going to get our weekly weather report. We're going to head over to Robert.
I predict 100% chance of rain.
Thank you, Robert.
And now for our interview. And here we are today with Josh Beardsley,
Hello.
who will one day be Dr. Josh Beardsley, correct?
That is the plan, yes.
Yeah, so tell us about your hair. How do you get it looking so perfect?
Well, it's just, I get up in the morning and a couple hours, just throwing the comb through it,
A couple hours.
A few different products, maybe 20 or 30 of them.
It's looking dapper.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's worth every free non-alcoholic drink I've ever got.
Okay, Josh, tell us a little bit of your story of kind of how you came to faith in Jesus.
I grew up in a Christian household like a lot of people. So it just kind of is one of those things where growing up, you kind of follow the traditions of that. And that can actually, I feel like, be, that can end up hurting you in the long run because you don't really kind of come to it on your own at first, a lot of times, for me especially. So I kind of had to overcome that, and the way I did that was meeting different friends and kind of getting out there and figuring out different things about my faith that I didn't know about before. You kind of grow up with this whole set of rules that you're supposed to abide by,
Okay.
and that part is important, but you realize at a certain point it's not so much about the rules, it's that the rules are ratified by the grace part,
Yeah. Tell us about the most important part of your workout routine. Keeps you fit.
Well, at the end of every workout, which they're already pretty long themselves, by the end, I do a 2-hour butt workout specifically. I believe that's important to have a firm foundation if you know what I'm putting down there.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Josh.
When I sit down, I don't even know that I'm sitting down.
Is that right?
That's right.
That is... I could use a little help in that area.
Well, I'm
Thank
starting
you.
a class on Mondays, so...
Okay.
I kind of want to leave this table. Thank you, Josh.
Next week, we will have the man known as Ducky. Or Duck.
Duck.
Marcus.
Yes.
And now, a new segment on our show.
Winston's Wonderful World of Crafts.
Hello, and welcome to Winston's Wonderful World of Crafts. This week, we're going to be making slime. Well, I didn't have all the ingredients, so I just got some common household items. We're going to start off with some good wood glue. Just, go ahead and get some in there. We got some Ivory Gentle Hands soap. peanut butter that has no label because we're not getting sued today. Germ-X. Just spray that right in there. Just a little hint. And next, we're just gonna wind it right all up.
All right, so today we're going to continue on in the book of Luke, chapter 15, verses 4 through 10. It says this: "What man among you, if he has 100 sheep, has lost one of them, does not leave the 99 in the open pasture and go after the one which is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors, saying to them, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost.' I tell you that in the same way there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. Or what woman, if she has 10 silver coins and loses one coin, does not light a lamp and sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin which I had lost.' In the same way, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." Over and over in the Gospels, Jesus is seen as a shepherd. One of the reasons is that it was a customary thing for the men in their society to have sheep and raise sheep for money. And the importance of one sheep in 100 was enormous. It wasn't just that they could lose it and it not be a big deal. If they lost it, they lost a significant amount of their profits. It was obvious to the listeners, to the audience, that this sheep was incredibly important to the shepherd. The same with the coin. It was obvious to them that the woman who had lost the coin, it was incredibly important to her, and knew for a fact that they would go look for their sheep and they would go look for their coin. He compares that to the way that God sees us. He could have done anything to save us, but he chose to send his only son after you and after me. And the rejoicing, like it talks about it like there's a party that happens when someone comes to know Jesus. Each and every person in this world is just as important as another. And no matter who they are, where they're from, what they look like, what they sound like, what language they speak, what struggles they have, where they mess up in their life. When one of those people, no matter who they are, and as a matter of fact, it's like the more lost they are, the bigger the party when they come to know Christ. The better it is, the more powerful it is when they come back. The people that are the furthest from God think that they don't have a chance, but it's those that God came to die for. Yeah. What I want you to do with that is, for one, if you have somebody in your life that doesn't know Jesus, I want you to begin praying for them, that God would begin to work on their heart. And then I want you to begin preparing to tell them about Jesus so that that party can happen, so that we can celebrate with you, and so that we know that in heaven that party is going on, because they will come to know Christ because you decided to take action based on what you heard in the scriptures. If you have any questions about how to share your faith or anything like that, you can DM us. If you have our numbers, you can call us, or even write in the comments if you have questions. And we'd love to be praying with you and thinking with you over that.
And after this, join us for a Zoom at 7 o'clock, and you actually get to talk to us in person.
So join us next week for Fancy Mix Productions. What's that?
It's our 1 week anniversary of this show.
All right. So we should celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's that?
I just don't know how to actually use it.
What does it do?